Hey, how's it going, fellas? This is here, Carlos with Backyard Diesels. I got a little tip for you guys. It's kind of troubling. I know you're gonna run into it if you're a Duramax owner, Chevy GMC. One of the things this truck had, well, it's not there anymore. I'm kind of gonna explain it. It's poor DEF quality. So it took me a while, really, to figure this truck out. I've never seen that one before until yesterday. So I'm just gonna run a few little steps with you guys on what I did and to make this right. If you look up, GM's procedures to actually get rid of this light, it's huge. It's gonna take you all day. And the reason I say yesterday, I worked on it for a couple of hours, and I had to stop. I had a little family get together I had to go to. But okay, so say you got the poor DEF quality, diesel exhaust fluid. So before you start, you're actually going to need some type of scanner, real high-tech scanner. Not so hard. I mean, I know the Altel, I think they're capable of doing it. I'm not 100%. Or the Tech 2, that's for sure. I mean, I don't like the Tech 2, but I have it. But you can do anything. What was it? Matco. There's several scanners out there. You probably have to play with them and do a little thing. They just a little different. But I'm gonna show you here with my Snap-on scanner. So one of the things that I'm gonna go through, I don't know if you can see that. I'll briefly read them. In order to proceed with this test, you gotta, these are the simple steps that I took. I checked the EGT, exhaust gas temperatures, between 68.9 to 32 Fahrenheit. The EGT3, same thing. Engine coolant temperature, that's important. Your engine has to be above 158 degrees Fahrenheit. I know some people go with Celsius. I don't know, whatever that is. And your NOx sensor, that's your oxidized sensor. It's between. This is where I had a problem. You so check all this on your data before you go into this test, which was 35 to 750 BPMs, and this one was off. So what I did, I went into reset the NOx sensor. I don't know. The customer said that he removed the batteries and let it set for 2 days or 3 days, whatever it was. And that's not the way to do it. Not on these stupid newer trucks. You could do it on them older models. These pretty much has to cycle. The ECM has to cycle completely down in order for you to do everything. It doesn't work that way no more. Another thing was I always double check also on your APP, your accelerator pedal position. It's less than 1%. That's pretty much nothing. Some of them are kind of misaligned. Kind of play with it if you're getting percentage when you go to see your data. What else? Oh, that's another important thing. Your diesel exhaust fluid temperature has to be greater than 20. I know some of you guys are up further north. My brothers, they pretty much have to keep their truck's garage or plugged in 24/7 in order to get them to start. When you're talking about negative degrees up there. One thing, you just check your data. Remember, you need a scanner. You can go here, data. Each scanner is going to be different. For example, go to engine data to check some fuel. Let me see. You don't go to your fuel. Reductant, you go to your reductant system, which is your DEF. That's just how you get to it. To check to make sure you're all within specs. No, this is another one, exhaust. That'll give you the exhaust gas temperature sensor reading. Just play around it, look for the data to make sure you're within specs. And on this scanner, you go to functionals, And I was gonna tell you on the knock sensor. I had to go to reset the knock sensor on this one because it was reading really high. I don't know what it caused it. So that's the knock sensor. Be careful. You don't want to start resetting everything. That'll screw you up. It'll tell the computer that everything's back to normal in your truck, that which is not there anymore. The poor DEF quality. It's not going to go anywhere. So right now, when that warning light come on, it never shot any trouble codes or anything. It's just annoying. Your truck goes into once it kicks on, goes into 65 miles. Can't go any higher, and for so many miles, I think, what was it? I think maybe 180 miles. I'm not sure. Then it goes into another limp mode, which is 55 miles. 65, then 55, and that's when you're in trouble. So the first thing that I did was I did a regeneration mode. I wanted to make sure that DEF customer stated that he replaced the DAF or added some new. So I knew, I checked it. Everything looked good. I know that DEF has a tendency to go, if you ever spill some, it gets like crystally, kind of like salt. So I made sure that it was good. Just visual inspection. Don't get, they got these tests and samples and crap. You don't need to do none of that. And one thing that I did just to double check before I started, I did a purge on the injection nozzle toward the catlet. Where is it at? So you might want to do it, purge it a little bit, do regeneration mode, which is not in this area. But let me just show you real quick before I get started. I already started. Reductant system data. System purge. Where's it at? Okay, here it is. Reductant fluid quality test on. So before you start that, make sure you're within parameters, or else you're gonna sit here. This test takes forever. It could take 5 minutes. It could take 70. Then you have to drive it. You'll know when it's ready. It'll cycle down, and it'll go into 1900 RPM when you're running this test. I also cleared out the nozzle, what I was talking to you about, telling you guys. You could do this nozzle. So before you do that, the reductant quality test, the fluid quality test, make sure you don't purge the exhaust system, and that's when you go to regeneration mode, which would be here. DEF regeneration mode enable, that's manually, and this one does it by itself. Remember, the truck does not, these aren't like the Fords Fords will actually stop when it's ready. It'll tell you this will stay all night. So give it about 20 minutes. You should see the exhaust. It'll start puffing smoke when that valve is purging. Remember, it gets extremely hot. Open your hood. It's really loud, especially these Duramax. They're super loud. Wear some earmuffs or something if you're gonna plan on being around it or looking at stuff. I won't recommend being around the hood or anything. Maybe have a backup fire extinguisher just for safety measures, because these trucks get extremely loud. You never know who was the owner before. If the owner's been taking care of it, stuff might start falling apart, or a loose screw or something, throw it somewhere into the fan, hit you or something. So remember, safety glasses and #1 thing on this. Fire extinguisher backup. I mean, I have one in my shop just in case. I never had anything, thank God. So that's what I did first. I made sure that I was within specs. I drove the truck for 25 minutes, 30 minutes, somewhere in there. Come back, did a regeneration mode. It didn't want to do it because before that I was running tests and doing all this. So I had to let the ECM cycle down. The computer actually knows when you've been doing stuff, and it won't allow you anymore. So let it cycle down, let it cool down, give it about 45 minutes to an hour, go do something, go work on another truck, and then perform the diesel exhaust regeneration mode. Once it's cycled down, go drive around for a little bit, come back, turn it off, park it, leave it for about, like I said, 45 minutes to an hour. Then hop in it again, let it warm up a little bit, go for another 20-25 minute drive, come back, and as soon as you come back and you're ready, it should be ready to do your fluid test. So I just pretty much, I did a jump GM's recommendations. I'm sure it worked. It was just way too long time wise. I just kind of briefly ran through it, just some of the procedures and steps of what you have to do. And you're looking at GM's man, it's practically an all day, full day on the truck when doing this. That doesn't work. If this doesn't work out for you, give me a shout. I'll be more than happy to help you out. So remember, make sure you're within specs. Do a first regeneration mode. Make sure you got good fluid coming out your nozzle, which you'll see it in the exhaust. You know, you puff of smoke when it's cleaning out the catalytic converter. So I think that's pretty much, I went through everything. Let me see if I'm trying to, okay, here it is. If you get code P20EE, that was the oxidized sensor that I was telling you about, that was off. I don't know why it was reading so high. It has to be between 35, what was the, I can't remember the top of, let me look at this. I got it in here somewhere. Oh, what was it? I don't care. Well, 35 to 750, somewhere in there. So if anything below or higher than that, this test is not going to work for you. You might have to change out the oxidized sensor, reset it, see if it'll take it. And if you're having any problems, like I said, I'd be more than happy here to help you guys. So it's a little, patience is key. Have a buddy scanner, decent one. And hopefully it has all the settings to help you out. And if it has regeneration, more than likely it's in there. You just got to look for it. So like the Tech 2, I personally, I don't like it. It takes me forever, but it's all, I guess I got used to the snap-on. But everything I can do basically with the Tech 2, or I can do with my snap-on Verse, or you guys that have those edges, and new ones that have the Zeus. That's awesome. Probably my next step after this one breaks down or something. It's a totally different system. So anyways, hopefully this was helpful to you guys. And if you take it to the dealer, if you don't have this, I mean, I really don't know what a dealer costs to do that regeneration. I mean, it's a really long process. You know, dealers about 100 plus an hour. So if they have to go through the full steps, which I'm sure they will, I mean, you're looking over $1,000 just on this. So pay close attention. And one of the recommendations to avoid this was the keep your diesel exhaust fluid uncontaminated when you pour it. Make sure you don't get no crap in there, because I think that's actually what happened to this one. It's been probably sitting for a while. It kind of got crystallized or turned into dried up, and once it was running through the what they call that, hydraulic pressure line for the nozzle. It's weird, but yeah, it's something like that's called. Just a hose for the nozzle. So anyways, appreciate you guys, and hopefully this will be able to help you out. If not, shoot me a comment. I'll get back with you as soon as I receive it, which I'm pretty good at responding back. So alrighty, see you guys later.